You've been watching a scene all too familiar to fans of the big red, white, and blue Chevrolet monster truck called USA-1. Another wreck, this time in Richmond, Virginia. But Steve Wilkie is the driver, not Rod Litzow. We've already seen how Litzow suffered a miserable run of bad luck in 1989 when USA-1 went end over end 4 times and crashed a couple of other times. Things went just about the same for Wilkie when he took over in 1990. He fills Litzow's shoes capably when it comes to flips and crashes, like this race against Bigfoot 4 in Texas Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Wilkie pulls off a big win, clearing all of the junk cars in the last jump. But the bad luck is that he can't stop the truck in time and smacks a generator. Driver's skill had a lot to do with keeping the truck right side up in this race. Wilkie said later that beating Bigfoot was his top priority. Worrying about stopping the truck came later. That kind of an attitude is exactly what Everett Jasmer was looking for when he had to find a replacement for Rod Litzow while Litzow rehabilitates his hip and back. An aggressive driver, a driver who's not afraid to hurt the truck in pursuit of a win. Wilkie's first flip aboard USA-1 came in Roanoke, Virginia, and it was there that a rookie error cost him. Instead of powering out of trouble, he hit the brakes and rolled over. His improving driving skill, coupled with an intense level of concentration, make Wilkie a force to be reckoned with on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. But the question is, will the crashes eventually affect his bravado at the wheel? We asked Wilkie to discuss the crashes and the effect they have on his driving. Just what goes through his mind at the starting line, knowing that this could be a wild ride.
Psychologically, I don't think about anything like that. You have to have 2 personalities to drive one of these trucks and be competitive. When I take the helmet off or when I take the fire suit off, I'm a mechanic, I'm a real person. When I put the helmet on, your personality just goes away. The only thing that you think about is getting to the finish line first. And it's something, people see me, and I catch a lot of flack for my psych job that I do on the starting line. I beat on my helmet, and what I'm doing is I'm closing that mechanic's door, and I'm opening the driver's door, because then when my head clears and you focus again, I'm ready to go racing. And I don't think of it. You know, when I flipped the truck over in Roanoke, that was on Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon we had an event. And we stripped the truck down and took most of the bent parts off, and went to the semifinals. So it's a matter of getting back on the horse to get through this. I'm a believer in the fact that you go out and run as fast as you can on every pass and let things fall where they may. In Dallas, we ran with 18 trucks, and it's a lot of trucks, you know, for a single event. But again, you know, and Everett distills that in us too, in the fact that, you know, we don't sandbag for anybody. We go out and we run as hard as we can in every pass. And, you know, you do that, you wind up as top qualifier, which is where you really want to be. Lane choice all night, and you lay a psychological edge on the guys 2, 3, 4, and 5 below you that run almost as fast, but again, not quite as fast. So they're thinking about that when they come to the starting line, too. There's, in the pit area, you have the mind games and, you know, oh, how's your truck, you know, did you hurt something, and the conversations you have with the other competitors, but we just go out and run fast every time.
We asked Wilkie to list the highlights of his career with USA-1. Surprisingly, he takes more pride in wrenching America's truck to the world title in 1988 than he does driving at this point. Of course, he still has lofty goals as a driver.
What pleased me the most is being a part of the '88 National Championship. Truly just being involved with the true motorsport and something that you have fun at. There's not very many people in this world that can get up in the morning and say they enjoy going to work. But I'm one of them people. I know that I'm a lucky person for that, and I've earned the right to do that. But it's the national championship in 1988. Finally, I'm a champion at something, and I wasn't in the driver's seat, but like Rod says, you know, without me, you know, we rolled that truck over 6 times, and on the New York mini circuit, we came back the next day to win 2 more events against the top guns in the country, and that's the pride for me, is putting it back together and coming back the next day, and these other guys are still scared of us. As far as what in the future, of course, driver of the year. I am a rookie by standards, so rookie of the year is a possibility. You know, again, if we can climb any higher than in the points than we are, and of course, winning the national championship in 1990. Everett's been in the business a long time, and he deserves it. And Chevrolet and True Value and all the people that work so hard, the people at the body shop now, we talk about these rollovers now. Again, we're going to go down there, and we don't necessarily give them 2 or 3 days or a week to do this. It's overnight. Let's do it now. We got to go racing tomorrow. And because of these people, that's why to bring a national championship in here again, you know, and for Rod and for everybody that's been involved, and for Monster Trucks themselves, I think it would be good.
Founder-owner Everett Jasmer is the soul of USA-1. He asks his team to drive hard to win. He fights for his convictions, much like the drivers battled for victory. But Jasmer himself, a tired and worn denim, long hair, beard, and cowboy hat, does not look like the finger-wagging, confident white knight that do the driving. If his drivers look like good guys, Jasmer looks like a bad guy. That's part of the rebel in him.
The image that the USA-1 team portrays is very contrasting to the image that I portray. The denim, the blue jeans, denim shirts, the cowboy hat, which has really no particular meaning to it. I used to wear, when I started in the business, I had a reputation for wearing a denim engineer hat. Some of the early pictures of the monster truck, I was wearing that, but somewhere along the line, I just picked up on the Western hat, and I've been wearing it ever since. I have always been a bit of a rebel, I guess. I was told one time that I would never, ever accomplish anything in this life unless I got a haircut and a shave and wore a business suit. And I guess it's been a situation where if somebody tells me that I can't do something, then I'm going to do it. And I remember when I was a kid, I wanted a beard. And this thing has been there virtually since I was old enough to grow it, 18, 19 years old. I've always had it. I've never shaved it off. I grew up, when I was growing up, there was a lot of the kids I went to school with were involved in drugs and pot and partying and things like that. And I probably looked more like that type of person than they did in some ways, and yet I never got involved with it. I was always too busy, you know, from the time I was 15 years old, I was building cars and racing cars and things. Never had time for that stuff. I'm very thankful of that now, but I always stayed busy with racing and cars and working of some sort, and yet I've always probably had more, you know, I know people have thought, back then it was hippies, you know, called me a hippie, and people thought that that's what I looked like, and yet it's hard to really explain. I look the opposite of what I am, I guess. I don't know. I suppose it maybe goes back to that rebellious part of me. I just don't put up with anything if I don't think it's right. And like you say, whether it's track officials, whether it's the promoter, whether it's other racers, I don't put up with it. I fight it till, I don't always win, but I fight it till it's